this one's going to blow some minds. I think this is going to get copied by every other builder out there. They put the luxury kitchen and living room from a monster Model G toy hauler into a travel trailer. Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to Brinkley RV. My name's Josh, the RV Nerd. Welcome to the regular return of members of the RV Nerd Herd. This is the new i280. There are so many things that I like about this one. First of all, they have really made the separation between the iX little brother and this full Model I very obvious now, with that drop frame outside front storage pass-through, as well as that new nose cap with the windshield inset. These previously did not have a nose cap. So all the full Model Is that you've already seen on my channel, that footage doesn't have it. This is what they're going to look like on the front now. What they did here, they took the kitchen and living room from the Model G 3950 monster, awesome big fifth wheel toy hauler, and they adapted it into a couples camping travel trailer, all on one flat deck. And this is potentially one of my favorite opposing slide kitchen living rooms I've seen. Most of them almost always have the same layout. If you look up in big luxury fifth wheels right now, this is what a lot of people are loving because it gives it such a home style feeling. Even though it is kind of one room, it creates awesome feeling separation of kitchen versus living room. You've got a quadruple recliner wraparound party couch. They're multi-function dinette, which can only pretty much do anything. Dining bar, desk, table opens up. Anything that you want, slip slides around all kinds of ways. But the kitchen on this is, MC Hammer called it too legit to quit. The amount of solid surface counter space in this is obscene for a trailer this size. But because the slide has to close, it has this huge like kitchen counter extension that you can pop up when you want it, fold down when you don't. And they even added this little safety sensor. So if you have that kitchen countertop extended, the slide out won't close and smash your camper. If they're thinking of stuff like that, imagine all the other stuff they're thinking about you can't see. The only trick of the floor plan like this is, because I don't like to use like wide angle lensing, it is sometimes a little tricky to capture everything. So I'm going to have to keep the camera kind of really waving around, but I'm going to do so slowly. I don't want to make people motion sick. So that is a quadruple party recliner. It's, again, the concept here is to give this thing like the kitchen and the living room of the Model G 3950. And that is arguably one of the most highly appointed luxury of luxury fifth wheel toy haulers out there. Now, the full Model I series is a little bit taller. It's 6'9" tall versus the iX, which is 6.5. It is also 50 amp instead of 30 and has standard dual air. Now, what they did here, I did some looking into this. They went with a 18,000 BTU Furrion chill cube back here, and then you have an 8,000 BTU air conditioner up front. So 18 plus 8. I was kind of curious why they didn't do a 13,500 BTU up front. You know, Brinkley's not a brand that tends to do stuff just because it's cheaper. So what I found is, yes, this is a 50 amp coach, and they do that so that if you also want to do things like run the electric fireplace or whatever, you can do that without tripping breakers. But 18,000 BTU and 8,000 BTU together can be run on 30 amp service. Now, you're not going to run a coffee pot and a blow dryer at the same time, but you can run both airs of this on 30 amp service in this 50 amp coach. And if you only have 15 amp service household plug power available, you can actually still run your main chill cube air because it has a high level of energy efficiency about it. It's just a thing that it does very, very well. Now, the campsite overlook window coverage here, pretty awesome. Of course, you have the multi-function dinette. I'll give you a quick little demos of that in a little bit. They have found a lot of people like to swap out the chairs. So what they did here is they intentionally went with something that's a little bit smaller and lighter, but it can easily fold away for transit. They're not super duper heavy. That is a 12 cubic foot, 12 volt compressor fridge. I don't know what variety it is, but they have a little coffee maker over here that has a golden bee on the front. So they must have found a coffee maker that fits their decor that they put in here. It's not a Brinkley brand coffee maker. I don't know what that is, but that's really funny. Back here in the kitchen, a couple details. I'll come back and get all the storage open. Look at the toe kick all the way around. And these are floor flush opposing slides. And in the full Model I series, you're looking at solid surface countertops. When you go IX, that will change to thermal foil, but here in full I, that's not the case. I don't see, okay, back in that corner, like there is a set of power outlets where that coffee pot can reach over here on the wall, but there's a set of power outlets under that overhead area as well. I was just kind of curious to see where my power solutions were located. Big residential sized 3-way electric oven, air fryer, convection, and of course microwave function. The microwave is a stovetop exhaust vent hood as well, and we have the rain sensing max air vent fan here. You'll find the same thing in the bathroom. They do not revert to the dollar store 4-inch fart fans anywhere around this RV. And as you saw in our flyby footage, with this being a slide, because this part of the kitchen's in the slide too, when it opens up, it creates this extra gap right here. And they wanted to make it functional because it looks weird just potentially only looking at the back of the couch. So the island, just like the big Model G, that's the craziest thing about this. This has a lot in common with those crazy Model G luxury toy haulers. You have a counter flush, solid surface waterfall extension leaf. But notice those double gas struts down there. You don't have to like struggle to lift it and lower it or anything like that. It's simple, it's easy, it just does the thing. You know what I mean? There's these little tabs under that countertop right there that will allow you to keep it in place. And I mean, it's pretty sturdy, pretty stable. Now, the island over here, this obviously doesn't move. But no sink in it or anything allowed them to really maximize the storage. And I love that extra power outlet in there. But I say this all the time. One of my favorite things about rear kitchens like this, when you're in the kitchen working, you're not left out of the entertainment. So many RVs, especially rear living rooms that are by like rear living and rear bath. When you go into the kitchen, you lose this. You stop being part of the conversation. Everybody knows, like, if you do feel like entertaining friends, everybody knows the party ends in the kitchen, right? Because that's where the food and the drinks are. Well, in this RV, you're never like left out, and that's something that I really like. I got myself shoved into a funny corner here, so I guess let's start right here with the island and crack storage open. Quick thing you can see here, they adopted this initially with the Model G toy haulers, and now it's through the entire Brinkley family. That dovetailed drawer construction. It's just a stronger way to build that box effectively. This is just going to be wide open storage. Like, so for me, that just begs for pots and pans. Now, this waterfall extension, one of the big fears that I had with it is, what if I forget it's open and I try to close the slide? Well, good news. They thought of that. There's actually a little limit switch safety sensor here. So if you look up here in the corner, and either now or in a second, you're going to see up in the control panel area above the TV, there's this little red light. When you close this, there we go, the light goes off, telling you that it's okay to close the slide. The moment you pull that out, it kills the slide over here from closing, so you can't create a very expensive mistake. And again, I get that that's a small thing, but if they're thinking of that, imagine the other things they're thinking about. But being perfectly fair, when that countertop extension is open, if you notice where it would overlap, it makes this area down here potentially tricky to get to. So whether you want it open or closed might depend on what you're doing in the RV at a given time. And I get that that's kind of an awkward exchange, but at least they didn't just waste the space. They still made it functional and accessible here. Since Brinkley #1, the very original Model Z 3100, you've had the the paper towel drawer with the at least one dedicated trash drawer with the extra what do I want to say there? space to keep your bags all kind of readily available and you know, contained and whatnot. Working our way up here, that's a sealed burner, high output 3 burner stove. A lot of use of the word burner in there. I'm guessing, yep, right above those spatulas, we have another set of household outlets. That is a residential sized, again, convection microwave air fryer 3-in-1 sort of combo. Working our way around here. Again, they just seem to be using all the space they really have available. And under that sink, there is a power outlet and space allotted. It is actually going to be dishwasher prepped. Looking around from there, more drawer space, more cabinet space. If you look up on the countertop here on the right-hand side of the sink, it does come with a full sink-like drying rack rollaway cover, just to kind of help you see that it isn't just a big one piece. I went ahead and rolled the whole thing out like that, obviously north-south instead of east-west. I've never done that before. I never thought about this. That might be a decent place to be able to place like hot stuff. I haven't tried that, but it kind of makes sense. One of the things people think solid surface countertops, they go, well, I got granite counters at home. I can just put hot pots and pans right on them. I don't recommend doing that in an RV. Yes, they're solid surface. It's not granite. It's actually a very high density plastic still. So just be careful. Now they did a thing back here in this pantry I support fully. I hope catches on more in the industry. If storage is at my waist or above, I prefer cabinets, like traditional cubbies. If it's kind of at my waist or below, I like drawers that open to me to make that easier to reach, which is exactly what they did here. That's a nerd preferred execution. Another thing that's easy to overlook, I pulled it out in front of the coffee maker over there. Sounds dumb, the owner's manual. There's some RV companies that try to make one generic owner's manual that covers everything they make, potentially from pop-ups to motorhomes. Well, I think you can understand for fairly obvious reasons that doesn't make it very effective. Each series of Brinkley has its own set of owner's manuals. So the Model I manual is specific to the Model I series. This seems to be something some people, not everybody is necessarily on board with. I absolutely love it. I personally kind of struggle with the dislike for this, the Brinkley Dynesk, because I like to have options, and this sucker can only do just about anything. Like, the simplest thing is just that it can extend to create more seating space. I like to be real and candid about this, though. It is going to be tight for 4 larger adult mammals. But realistically, I think that if you're just going to have somebody over for the night, just play some cards, I think you could probably make it work. It may just depend a little bit on your personal size. But it also slides. And that can create a couple different things. The biggest thing is that can create like a pretty nice desk working space to help give you a size reference. When that table's extended, there's still enough room for this chair in front of it. So I think that qualifies as being able to walk through and pass through this. Like when the table's open, it doesn't cut off the camper, which is something that happens sometimes in campers. Or if you prefer to be a little bit closer to one another, you can just turn it into a double campside dining bar. I actually know a couple folks that prefer to leave it like this all the time. And then the open space under there, that's where they put things like their pet dishes, a little pet bed, stuff like that. Things for the little, I call them 4-legged furry friends, and or, puppy cats. Moving around from there, we've got the square flow window package, as is pretty normal. Extra large window in the entry door, but it does have a full privacy shade. I went ahead and pulled that up just so it might be a little more easy to spot. Working our way around, we already kind of saw the entertainment center, but I mentioned this is a 4-seat party recliner. I didn't actually open it. I thought that might be something kind of cool to see there. Oh, how did I miss this before? It's the simplest thing, but the island area here has like just a little spill guard. It's nothing major, just an extra little piece of solid surface material just to help keep stuff under control if it does happen to spill out, Now, the, smart TV Jumbotron straight across from you, very easy viewing angle in that area. Also, before I forget, you do have full storage like over the sofa too, which of course has the anti-gravity doors. And again, just to kind of finish the thing, yes, again, all like wall hugging theater recliners straight across from the entertainment. And they put whatever entertainment storage in here they could. It's not like obviously the biggest, deepest. Notice too, again, how they keep all their control panels and stuff tucked away. Remember that little you can't close the slide because the countertop's in the way light? This is where that was located, by the way. Now your lights are on a dimmer switch. The control panel there that lit up when we walked past it, if you push and hold the light switch, that will give you your dim up, dim down functions. Keep hanging with me, guys. We're getting there. Brinkley RVs have a lot to show. Like, if you're just looking for a quick eyeball of it, check my little short form video of this thing that I put out. But if you're considering purchasing one of these, you're going to want to get all the info you can. That's my goal with this today. I do like the indirect kind of soft lighting behind that mirror down there. Working our way down. We are solid surface in the kitchen. It looks like we've swapped to thermal foil here in the bathroom. I just don't, I want to make that clear because I think the way that I phrased that earlier could be interpreted as saying that they went solid surface across the board. Apparently that hasn't happened. I don't know if it's going to. It's not. So there you go. Triple drawer space. Nice spot there for a wastebasket. I appreciate how they always, it's the simplest thing, just the little rubber bumpers. You might have noticed that's also soft close drawer stuff. We do have a true pocket. It's actually a pocket and lock it kind of door. It holds itself in place for transit. Plenty of space around that foot flush porcelain stool there. They have the heat run going on under the one-piece molded fiberglass luxury fifth wheel shower that we're finding here in a travel trailer. And a couple cool things. First of all, the headroom, or I'm about to say headroom, sorry. The XL vent fan, just to kind of showcase that for you. But back to the shower. Guess what I'm going to talk about now? The headroom in the shower is great. Because the RV, first of all, is 6'9" from floor to ceiling. It's tall enough for most people. You don't tend to need a skylight. If you're a little bit taller still, they don't actually put a skylight in. They put like a ceiling recessed tray essentially in to give you a little more headroom. But what that means, there's no skylight on the roof. And RV shower skylights are usually one of the very first places to develop leaks. So they've eliminated a potential major leak point. Now, we kind of saw the drawer space, just in case you're curious. You got this storage here, but if you notice, that actually does pass through into the bedroom as well. So that could be bathroom, that could be bedroom, that could be a combination of whatever. Your bedroom also has dimmer lighting, but it's just a simple little slider on the switch over here on the left-hand wall. This is a 66 by 80 Olympic queen bed. If I'm not mistaken, their floor plan print might use the word king, but it's in the RV industry, I guess it's considered a king, but it's quite literally not by residential terms. 66 by 80 is called an Olympic queen. The reason I want to stress that, if you want to replace this mattress, which, first of all, let's give them a little credit here. The factory mattress on this is not awful. Like, I would personally give that a shot, that bamboo mattress, before I swapped it out. Or maybe a foam topper, but I think that's probably going to be pretty good for me. But the if you wanted to get something else, or you wanted to get replacement sheets for it, if you go searching king, they're not going to fit. Olympic queen will. And when I walked in earlier, I just glanced at this out of the corner of my eye, and I thought it said dance to lead. And I was like, huh? And I realized it said dare to lead, and I'm an idiot. When I was a kid, though, it was dare to keep your kids off of drugs. So I guess the dare thing has changed. It might be two different dares. Your side stands there. Shockingly good storage in those. But storage in this bedroom is something they do very well, but also very unconventionally. So first of all, up here above the bed, pretty good space. It does, though, have a couple of these kind of filler panels. There is storage behind them. They're not super wide. It's not super hard to reach around there, but the little filler panels aren't always my Whoa, 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 whoa. My belt loop got hooked on something. Sorry. I've ripped enough pants that the moment I feel that resistance, I just stop moving like immediately. There is, by the way, a blackout privacy shade for that front window. But it's what's under the bed here that I've never seen anything else like it in the industry. Like there's plenty of beds that flip up, but there's not a lot of other beds that actually add additional clothing hanging racks under the bed. Now, this is not the only hanging clothing storage in this bedroom, so hang with me for a second. Also, the way that they totally clean up, trim out, frame up everything under this, literally walk down between the frame rails of the RV. It's I call it a step down closet. You know, it's not a walk-in closet, it's a walk-down closet. It's wild. This could also be, you know, dog bed space, cat litter, boxes. I know some people are always looking for spots for those. The laundry hamper being included right over here. I love this kind of stuff. This is the only area in the RV, by the way, that you'll find a floor ducted heat vent. There's just not a lot of other opportunities for them to do that. Given you kind of finishing up the look around here, right above us, again, we have that 8,000 BTU bedroom air unit, which does, I believe, the bathroom does have central air. I can't remember if it's the rear chill cube or this one that provides that. Big old blank spot on the wall over here in case you feel like adding some television stuff. If you want a place to hang like a jacket or something real quick, you got a couple of these little magnet guys, but they're not always sticking out looking to like grab your shoulder and rip your clothes or anything like that. And I'm trying to remember, but I think your converter is actually down in here. Yep, that's where your fuse box is, along with just a generic chunk of storage. But then we start working our way up here, and this is where you see the bulk of your primary dresser and or closet space. Couple more dovetailed drawers right there, but then we get around the corner. Remember, the left side is kind of shared between the bedroom and the bathroom. That's part of the reason your water heater controller's in there. Then you have a closet space on the right. So you have one closet space there, one closet space under the bed. Some folks have had, I think, some reasonable questions like, okay, so what if, I don't know, my wife is still in bed and I need to grab a shirt? Well, you may want to use, some of the not under the bed storage, because I think that if you try to flip her out of the bed in the morning to grab a shirt, she's probably going to flip you some divorce papers awful quick. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. You're going to maybe need to plan accordingly. That could be a challenge. That's why I want to point it out. Flipping around, another little thing I noticed over here. First of all, big bedroom window. I just don't have a good angle to showcase that for you. Holy God bless, that is a strong magnet. When you're going down the road, that door is not going anywhere. Like, there's nothing like trying to like stand in the bedroom and the door is constantly bumping you in the butt. You don't have to worry about that here. Now, I was kind of curious, how is this L sofa going to work out for travel mode? Usually you have to do a little bit of slight disassembly. And the more I looked at, the more I realized you do have to do a little. From what I can eyeball, even though the two TV direct facing theater seats, recliners, can detach, it looks like you only need to take off the one. But what that made me realize, if for some reason you just wanted to have a half-court basketball dance floor, nothing says you have to leave even that chair right there. Or the one that has the armrest, which, let me slowly spin you around over the corner here, that there's a bracket under the table. It locks in place there for transit. You could put that, and only that one, over here if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you could. Or you could get rid of them both and just have a 3-seat lounge sofa over here to open it up. Basically, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but it's not a whole lot that you have to take care of to close these slides for travel. And again, remember, you can't close the kitchen slide unless you have that countertop out of the way. It just won't let you. The real hiccup with a floor plan like this, like, I don't tow long distances, so I don't worry personally a lot about travel stops. I know it's a big deal for some people, though. When you close these slides up, you are flat blocked from getting to the kitchen, unless you feel like Dukes of Hazzard yee-hawing over the countertop there. Now, your stable steps that, get you into the camper, those actually stick out further than this slide. And this is a rack and pinion slide. So one of the benefits of this, which slide am I on, is if you want to open it just a little bit like that to slide through, it's okay. You're not going to screw it up. Or, again, logically, if you can if you can open the steps to get in here, chances are you have the room to open this slide. But I don't think that qualifies as ideal travel access. That being said, again, the way that I camp, I flat don't care. But I know that my idea of camping is not the idea of camping. So I just want to paint you all the different pictures that I can, give you the most things to think about. If you appreciate all that, how we're just trying to assist and serve you best we can, hit that subscribe button. And I have verified you do only need to move the one chair. Nothing crushed, nothing broke. I was a little nervous. They said it was okay. They were right. Okay, so one of the big questions, of course, can I tow it? Well, obviously, that's going to depend on what your truck is. With this thing being 33 foot long and change, which first of all, usually opposing living room slide RVs tend to come in closer to 35 feet. I'm not telling you that's a massive shorter RV, but man, sometimes that might determine whether you do or don't fit into a various campsite. But also with the GVW over 10,000 pounds and that kind of hitch weight, I am going to recommend generally not 3/4 ton towing this and sticking more in that, or generally not half ton towing this and sticking more in the 3/4 ton and up category. I like how they still put a power awning over there on the face of that slide. Obviously, you've got a larger awning in front of the slide there. If you are kind of curious as to how these are constructed, I have a tour of the Brinkley Model I fifth wheel factory. This is not terribly dissimilar, but has a couple significant variances, one of the biggest of which is the skin that they use on the RV. Effectively, every Model I comes with a paint package. That's not an inaccurate statement, not in the way you think a paint package, but it is a painted aluminum skin, automotive paint aluminum skin. And as a result, my experience in this industry, I've seen a couple RVs that have done this in the past, like an old Starcraft Starstream. Go find one. They're hard to find, but go find one. They still look great today. They're hard to find just because they weren't terribly high volume popular or anything like that. Not because they fell apart because of the paint. But what I'm getting at, you have a automotive painted aluminum skin with the Asdel layering just below. You still don't see like external fasteners. Here on the full Model I, you have an enhanced ride and handling treatment because it is a bigger, heavier RV. You have, of course, the Road Armor suspension package. You have the Hankook radial tires, but you also have both anti-lock brakes as well as a dynamic brake boost feature that I have not really seen outside of the Brinkley family of RVs. So what that will do, the RV essentially it's aware if it is going down a sharp hill and you need extra braking. And if the RV is going down a steeper incline, it will automatically fire the brakes a little harder to help keep you safe without you needing to muck with your brake controller, because you need to be focused on the road, not keeping your eyes down on the dashboard fiddling with a brake controller. So this RV will organically do that for you. I think that is very cool. Now the Model I series gets the fifth wheel style drop frame front storage. You can see, I like how the guys who develop the Brinkley RVs actually use them. So that's why you see things like your disconnect switches and whatnot mounted up high. If you watch my videos all the time, regular Nerd Herd members, how many times have I said, I appreciate that they gave us a battery disconnect switch, but I wish they would have put it up high so shifting cargo didn't smash it. Well, obviously, Brinkley understood the assignment. I don't know how else to say it than that. Now, if I back up here a little bit, you see that new 3/4 nose cap that they have on the front. Previously, all the Model Is had some form of painted aluminum nose sweep. The iX will maintain that, but to help you more easily identify the two, The full Model I has gone to the shiny candy-coated nose cap with that very generously sized dual pane front windshield there. They also, of course, have the Tron lighting running down the nose. It, generally speaking, just looks really neat. I don't know how campsite functional it is, but it looks really cool. You see the propane tank covers here. Some people have asked me, the Model Z Air travel trailers have this nice powder-coated aluminum gearbox on the front to help protect that stuff. Could you do that here? The answer is yes. You can order that. It can be applied to this, but I don't think it's like a normal factory option. It might be something we have to get after the fact. When I say order it, I don't mean like as a factory option. I mean, we just order the part and we can install it for you. I was here earlier, and someone who's a newer Brinkley dealer who had never really had their hands on these came in, and they started grabbing the baggage doors. And they couldn't believe just the thickness and the strength of the baggage door compared to the stuff they normally carried. It's just the little things that we take for granted, I don't even talk about on this video, compared to the industry standard, just kind of blow people's minds. Like, how many other RV brands have an enclosed docking center? I mean, don't answer that. It's a ton, certainly. But having things like, you know, your three-way switches out here, a couple other ones do it. A fifth wheel style Nautilus docking center in a travel trailer is rare. You know what else is super rare? An RV that has a built-in, it's what is it? I don't even remember the number, but like 35-foot freshwater cord on an auto retract reel built right into it. Also, they're doing the same things here they do on all their luxury fifth wheels. Brass fittings, you know, only PEX on PEX clamps. There's no flex hose with PEX fittings, anything like that. These have, you know, your 0 to 100 degree rated, tested, proven kind of weather package. They actually test track their RVs when they come up with new models, new series. They'll take them on a test track to beat the crap out of them to double check to see, hey, is everything going to hold together? If you watch my factory video tour, they actually have a thing I call the Jiggleator. It's like an earthquake simulator that will shake the living jeebies out of the RV before it leaves the production line, just in case something was a little loose, so that they can get it addressed. I like the underskirt lighting right there, especially near the sewer stuff. It helps you kind of see what you're doing to hook up. One of the tricks with this floor plan is that back here behind this rack and pinion slide, you will have a second sewer outlet. But true to form, Brinkley RVs are well respected for their holding tank capacities. This has some of the best holding tank capacities you're going to find in I would say in this class. Brinkley kind of doesn't easily fit into normal RV classification, I think, but you get what I'm saying. Now, it's obviously a little dark in here in this display room, but I think you can see enough here. I tell you what, give me just a second, turn on some light, let there be light. There we go. Little kitchen gray tank sewer outlet back there. Around the back, we have a 250-pound rated built-on roof ladder, 300-pound rated accessory hitch. And I am, whoa, I thought this wooden gate stuff around here, I kind of forgot is only here for decoration. I tried to lean against it and I just about took a bit of a tumble. That would have made some awesome video footage now, wouldn't it? Here's another neat little thing they're doing. I don't know how well I can get you, there it is. You see that extra bar on top? When you're transitioning from the ladder to the roof, it gives you something else to grab onto so you don't accidentally take a tumble like I almost did just now. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. As we always do, we'll drop you links in the description to give you an idea of things like MSRP, availability. We don't sell for MSRP. We're not able to publish typically less than MSRP on our site, so please keep that little distinction in mind. I will leave you links to, like, if you want a little bit smaller, there's plenty of other Model Is that work now. They have this new Model I 20X that's only 24 foot long and all kinds of half-ton towable. So the Brinkley family continues to grow. The I, the Z, the G. There's the rumor of the R coming eventually. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in the meantime, let me know what you think of this. And if you appreciate how we get you down here and get you the looks at these things, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you soon. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.